Hello guys and welcome to the show. So today we are diving in the topic that affects almost everyone listening. The music in your ears. We're asking, do you choose your own music or does the algorithm choose it for you?
We call this concept the invisible DJ. It's the personalization engine working behind the scene.
So with me in studio we have our tech expert Iqbal
Hi, my name is Iqbal.
and two others music lovers, Yoga and Noval.
Hi, my name is Yoga. Hello everyone, my name is Noval Hamdani.
And also joining us remotely from overseas to give us a cultural perspective, we have Hadid. Hadid,
Hi.
can you hear us clearly, Hadid?
Hi Hadid.
Yes, we can.
Okay.
Again.
All right, so great to have you here. So let's begin with a quick question for everyone. When was the last time you manually searched for a specific song instead just pressing to daily mix?
Honestly, I can remember. I just wake up, open the apps, and hit whatever playlist is on the home screen. It's just easier.
See, that's exactly what worries me. I still search for album manually because I want the full experience. But I feel like a dinosaur.
They create what we call the passive consumer. We are shifting from active searching to just continuous background streaming.
So let's break down to the tech. So Iqbal, how does the Spotify actually keep Yoga, Hadid, and Noval for listening without them doing anything?
It's a data-driven cycle. Every time you skip a track, repeat one, or like one, you are feeding the system.
All right. So Hadid, how do you think?
Yeah, for the platform to keep us play, it's almost they want to make it seamless, so they don't want to make it heavy or confusing for the customer. So they make it easier for the app to instantly flash it immediately without the user searching anything.
So how do you think, Iqbal?
Exactly. The features like autoplay and smart shuffle are designed to remove talent.
Oh yes, Smart Shuffle is always on for me. If the music stops, I feel awkward.
Is that what you're pointing, Hadid?
Yeah, it has the point, but it doesn't. The song doesn't grab me. It just doesn't grab in the 10 second. So most of the time, it's make the skippable, the skip ones, because most of the customer doesn't have any patience anymore. It's one of the point that he has. It's like too.
It affects the song structure too. Have you noticed
Yes.
song don't have long intros anymore?
Yes, that's called research. Research call this hook strategy.
Right. The algorithm prioritizes songs with instant engagement. If a song takes 30 seconds to build up, people skip it. So producer are killing the intro.
I admit it. If it doesn't catch me in 5 seconds, I skip, bro.
Honestly, me too. So, uh, our habits are changing, right? But what about our actual taste? It's expanding or it's just narrowing? Hadid, how do you think?
I think it's narrowing how we mostly generate on listening what we used to listen instead of finding another genre. So to because it's expanding, I don't think it's expand too much. Even if it expand, it's basically in the same circle, not joining other like rock to dangdut or something like that. So that's my opinion.
I love my Discovery Weekly. It always find a song I would never have found myself.
But is it really new novel? Or is it just stuff that sound exactly like what you already listened to?
Exactly, that's called illusion of choice. So basically, it's introduce a new music, but it's kept safely within your comfort zone.
Mm. There is also a massive shift from artist to mood.
Hadid, did you agree with that?
Yeah, I quite agree. He has the point of it, but uh, that doesn't mean that every people need to follow that. But yeah, I agree with him.
Exactly, you're listening to a web, not an artist. It makes your taste broader, sure, but much shallower.
So that's bring us to a critical point that's called algorithmic bias.
The echo chamber effects.
This is my biggest issue. The system favor popularity. We listen to what is recommended. It becomes popular, so it gets recommended more. It's a feedback loop trap.
So how do you think about that?
For the echo chamber, it's one of the main factor is the FOMO effect or the fear of missing out. It's not technically necessarily a bad thing. It's a good thing to make the customer listening, especially an outcoming artist. So I kind of agree for the echo chamber, but to call it bias, it's quite uh, not entirely true.
All right. So the risks are that niche genre are experimental artists are marginalized because they don't fit the data model. So Noval, how do you think about that?
I never thought about it that way. I just thought good music rises to the top.
Not anymore. Algorithm friendly. Music gets to the top.
So we are nearing to the end. I want to wrap this up for you guys with idea of dependency.
It's dependency on AI curation.
So how do you think about that?
It's yeah. If you look at now nowadays life, it's almost like everything is become dependency on, especially on the tool like AI or the for you page. So I just want to say maybe it's good thing, but it necessarily slightly too much of a AI or machine direction for me.
But it's so convenient.
It is, but the cost is the loss of music discovery skill. If the algorithm broke tomorrow, what you know what to play?
I probably be lost. I have to ask Iqbal for recommendation.
So okay, all right, right. So that's reality, guys. So we're no longer just a listeners. We are data points that created by experience of the machine itself. That's right, Hadid.
Yes, you're right.
So all right, that's a powerful thought on to the end. So next time you open the app, ask yourself: are you the DJ or does it is invisible DJ? Thanks for be our guest on studio. Thank you for joining us, Yoga and Noval. And thank you for Hadid for joining us online. So see you guys in our next video. Thank you for listening.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Don't forget to break and like and comment and share
Oh,
everything.
All right.
mantap.